Have you ever been on a journey and you're doing all the right things, you're logging your food, but maybe you're still not seeing the results that you want? I'm going to give you guys the top 7 mistakes that my clients have made, and hopefully it can keep you guys from making them too. And 7's God's number, so you know it's going to be good. Number 1 is going to be not including your add-ons. So let's say that you have oatmeal. Well, what all do you put in your oatmeal? Do you add a little brown sugar, a little maple syrup, a little bit of honey? Maybe you add chia seeds to it, which is great, healthy. Maybe when you cook your eggs in the morning, do you spray your pan with oil first? Or when you're cooking your vegetables or cooking a steak or chicken, do you marinate it? All of those little add-ons add up. So if you're consuming it, you want to make sure that you're logging it, otherwise you're going to miss. Especially those fats, they're sneaky, they're high in calories, they're good fats normally if you're picking the right stuff, but all of that adds on. So that's number 1. Number 2 is knowing your portion sizes. So if you've ever logged your food and you've been in the app, then you know that there's a lot of items that'll say serving. So you'll say 1 serving. Well, what is a serving? So it's really important to look at the labels of what it is that you're eating, because sometimes you may pick up almonds and people don't realize just how small a serving of almonds actually is, right? Or peanut butter. I actually recommend at least once, right? Most people will have a food scale. I'm not telling you to weigh your food all the time. There are people that can do that. That's good for them. I ain't one of those. But if you do it at least once and you kind of get your base work down of knowing what a correct portion size is. So that way you literally can go by grams, put it on the scale. Like for something like peanut butter, you would do, you'd put the whole thing on the scale and then scoop it out and then subtract, see how much you subtracted from that. But not knowing proper serving sizes is gonna be huge. You know what, another tricky one, we'll come back to oatmeal, is if you look at the log, it'll say old-fashioned oats dry versus old-fashioned oats cooked, right? Because it'll say a half cup, but a half cup cooked versus a half cup dry are gonna be different. So making sure that you're accurate when you're logging those stuff, and that's a super easy mistake. It happens all the time. Okay, number 3. I feel like this one should be a little bit of a duh, but it happens all the time that people don't log their snacks, or sometimes they don't even log their dinners. And so they're like, well, it's the end of the day. And sometimes, maybe somebody's just trying to gain a little bit of accountability, right? Of knowing, okay, I had this for breakfast, I had this for lunch. So when it comes dinner time, they're like, okay, now I know where I can create balance in my food, which is wonderful. But it's so easy to do a quick run to the pantry and grab a handful of nuts so those little snacks where you pick up something here and pick up something there, obviously that's gonna slowly add up. So that's number 3. Number 4. So Apple and Android, they're both trying to make our life a little bit more efficient, right? And so they tend to connect things for us that we don't necessarily always want to have connected. Let me give you an example. You definitely don't want to allow your Lose It, MyFitnessPal, whatever you're logging, to attach your exercise to it, because what ends up happening is that, let's say you have 1,800 calories that you're shooting for to eat in a day, and you do a 300 calorie workout. Well, unfortunately, the way those apps work, they now give you 2,100 worth of calories to eat throughout the day, and they've added to your calories. So what was the point of the workout if you see what I'm saying? So making sure that you don't connect those two. Now, if you do, let's say that you have a heavy cardio day and you end up eating more, that's totally okay. If you end up going over, do it. I actually tell my clients to keep their FoodLog calorie number on the low end, and then that way, if they go over, it's not a big deal, and they can learn to not be guilted by that because it happens too much. And then it's way too easy when someone's on a health journey and they're trying to lose weight, especially, to eat too little, and I don't want to see that happen because I want everybody to be well nourished. So making sure to not connect the, whatever your exercise is. It could be health app, or it could be Fitbit or whatever, but you definitely don't want to connect your steps or your activity with whatever log app that you're using. Number 5, and I actually already touched on it a little bit, and that's restricting too much. Absolutely nobody should be under 1,200 calories in a day, and even that is super, super low. Calculating your calories, there's a lot of calculators that are available online, but it's going to be entirely dependent on your height, your weight, and your activity level. Activity level, realize that it may not be, that you get a 30-minute workout or 1 hour workout every day, right? It could just be that you're active throughout the day and what your job is, right? So like my job is really active. I'm with people all day and standing and walking and moving and doing exercises with them, or doing body work, right? That's a lot of work. So depending on your job and how much activity you do throughout the day is going to make a huge difference on how many calories you should be eating in a day. Make sure that you're not restricting too much. And like I said in the previous one, is making sure that as you're doing your log, put your log on the low end. If you really feel like you need to have a little bit more accountability for whatever reason, and you want that to be your cap and be excited, just remember not to ever go below the 1,200 number. Number 6, and this is a good one, and that is choosing unverified items. So again, when you're going in your log and you're typing stuff in, like in the Lose It app, they have a little green check mark that says this item's been verified. But maybe something that you're having is not very popular, and so it may not be a verified item. Well, you want to still make sure to look at the nutrients, like what nutrients have been entered in for that category or for that item. And then that way, okay, is it actually calculating everything? Is calculating calories great? Yeah, sure. But the huge benefit of even logging your food to begin with is being able to see how much protein is your macros, right? How much protein, how much fat, how much carbs. Making sure they're good carbs, of course. But then maybe also you want to know how much sugar you're intaking or how much fiber you're intaking if your goal is like cholesterol or something. So you want to make sure to choose an item that has everything filled in as best as can be. And the last one, super popular, is guessing. So let's say that you put in a hamburger. It's really easy to look at those hamburger options and be like, oh, I'm just gonna pick the 300 hamburger instead of the 1,000 calorie hamburger. You definitely want to have a little bit more, like pay attention to it a little bit. You don't wanna just pick the lowest calorie option. I'll be honest, when I've logged, I'll pick like medium to the highest, even if I know that it's gonna be a little bit high, only because I don't want to second guess myself. Those are the 7 things. Now keep in mind, even some of the best professionals that log their food, let's say, use myself as an example, we usually overeat on what we log by about 400 calories. And somebody that's not experienced with it is easily 600 calories, where they eat more than what they're actually logging. And that's okay. Just make sure that you are consistently and seeing those goals. And if you get stuck, well, you know someone you can call. Love you guys. Bye.